So I grew up in the science fairs, and then I learned to program computers, and then I went to MIT and got an engineering degree, and I was all in for the science and the engineering. And then I fast forwarded to doing this show for the last 10 years, and I heard of a term called scientism. And it was that you can be so immersed in the scientific method in science that you can somehow not see other things or not see possibilities, cultural emotions, energy. And I started thinking, I don't know, maybe there's something to that. Now, I'm probably not describing it very well, and I'm guessing you're probably giving this funny look right now. But have you ever considered that possibility? Or let me just say one more thing. Say there was a scientist from 1,000 years ago that had an uneasy feeling that quantum physics was true, but could never do the experiment in science and, died a man constantly tormented by this. When in fact, if he had been to himself and say, you know what? Maybe I don't understand everything, but I can just go with it. I don't know. I'm doing a terrible job, but do you have any thoughts on scientism, Neil?
Yeah, sure. Generally that term is invoked by people who feel that science may have overstepped in its influence on culture and on society. That's the most charitable thing I think I could say about it.
Okay.
Usually when it's invoked, it's as an attack back on scientists, on the accusation that a scientist may be so embedded in paradigms that they're blind to other forces that might be operating. And then they'd be quick to quote, was it Hamlet? Yeah, Hamlet, where there's more Horatio, there's more between heaven and earth that are dreamt of in your philosophy. Well, when I first heard that quote invoked against science, I'm saying, what? Why? What? As a scientist, I'm open to anything and everything. In fact, what I don't understand attracts me the most. It's not just me. Any scientist who is an active scientist will repeat exactly what I just told you. We don't just sit in our office with our legs up on the table, basking in our conquered knowledge of the universe. We are on the frontier, befuddled. And if you only ever believed newspaper headlines, you would think that we're somehow uncomfortable with being befuddled. A newspaper headline would say, "New discovery will send scientists back to the drawing board." We're always at the drawing board. If you're not there, you're not an active scientist, period. And so that's my first reaction to the invocation of that term. There are people who are saying science can't explain everything. And then the word reductionism comes in typically because science is highly successful at being reductive. Okay. Is it this tree bark that is a painkiller in your body? Let's eat the tree bark. And it's a sacred tree. So there's a God involved and the God put a spell and it's magic and there's this. I'll take the bark and look at the ingredients and find the ingredient that cures your pain. Oh, it's aspirin. Okay. That's an example of a scientist being reductive. That way I don't have to chew on tree bark, or I don't have to pray to a God that I don't know anything about or don't care about, right? So that's reductive. And being reductive is responsible for most of what we call civilization today. Let me just put it out there. So now, how about the people who say, science will never understand love, and all I say is, well, we don't really understand it today. Or are you saying science will never understand it? Really? And what are you basing that on? Oh, you just don't want science to understand it. But I can imagine an experiment that determines what love is. You ready? It's quite simple. Okay. So we get some great work of art that people just love. Obviously, different languages have different levels of love. There's like love of God, love of family, love of objects, right? So in English, we don't have that. It's not that nuanced. So I'm just using, do you really, really like something to the point? I love this painting. Okay. So you get a painting that many people love and you observe their brains and you find out that there's a part of the brain that is activated when they see this painting. And it's common for all of these people. So then you found the love center of the brain. That's interesting. So now you find something that many people don't like. Then you go into someone's brain who hasn't seen it yet, activate the love center while you're showing them this thing that everybody hates. So say, no, you guys are wrong. I love this. Okay. If we get to that point, then we know exactly where the love neurons are, and we can control the love neurons. And it is an emotion stationed in a part of the brain that we know what the electrochemical circuits are, what they do, and how to control them. To me, that would be science, quote, encroaching on this sacred domain that you don't want science to touch, called love. And maybe love is more complex than that. It manifests in more parts of the brain that could all be true. But I'm not going to stand here and say, there are things in the universe that science will never know. I'm not going to say that. By the way, is it in the book of Job? One of the older books in the Bible, where it's either Job or Abraham, one of those two. God is talking to him after God's judgment was questioned. Okay? And then God lists things that at the time no one knew. There's a whole list. Why the tern fly south for the winter, and why the phases and the tides come in and out, and why. There's a whole list of things that go on in nature that God is saying, look, I control this, and you don't know what the hell is going on here. So when I tell you to do something, you do it. I'm paraphrasing the storyline there, but that's basically what was happening. And so you look at that list in the day, no one knew anything about that. But science has progressed. Yes, we know what causes tides. We know pretty much why birds migrate. We know, and we maybe know 2/3 or 3/4 of what's on that list, and there's still some that remain. This is what science does. It does it exquisitely. So is scientism the declaration that science will one day learn everything about everything? Yeah, it kind of is. Do we have evidence for thinking that would one day happen? Yes, we kind of do. It's the history of human questions that have been posed and the movement of science that arose to then answer them.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. I'm looking for partners, collaborators, colleagues who want to join forces with me around the globe and create real value, generational wealth, and financial freedom for everyone else around the world. Get involved in the cryptocurrency markets, get involved in the NFT markets. This is your moment. Life all comes down to a few moments. Don't let this pass. Now it's not too late. Next year's going to be too late. Ultimately, this is about freedom. That's the way I see it. This is about giving power back to the people and enabling billions of people worldwide to use the financial markets to improve their lives and those of their friends and their families and their communities. Honestly, I think it's a violation of human rights not to allow people basic access to financial services. Because right now people are being kept in the dark, they're being robbed of education, and it's a travesty. And so I'm looking for people that want to join me and be a part of this solution. And that all happens inside the DeFi Academy. The gains my students are making are absolutely amazing. Double, triple digit gains in the first month alone.
That's amazing. This will change your life. Now is the time to get involved. I'm gonna tell you exactly how my students in my academy made money in the last 30 days. I'm talking about real trading results. And let me just whet your appetite a little bit. Let me hit you with some numbers. I'm talking Brendan from New Zealand is up 68.77% on the month. Steve from Europe up 83%. Albert in Singapore up 169.9% on one single trade. I got Susan up 153% on her call options alone, also rocking 139% returns and 442% returns as well on individual trades. These are people that are changing their financial future in the last 30 days, but it's based on trading discipline.
I've graduated over 500 students from inside my academy from over 54 countries around the world. It's amazing. When it comes to crypto, DeFi, and blockchain, we love this space. We truly believe it's the future. This is down to our core. It's authentic to what we're doing, and everybody can tell through the camera because you can't make this stuff up.
If you're watching me now, wherever you are, I implore you, take 60 seconds right now and join my academy. Apply today. Now you've got a chance. Life all comes down to a few moments. What are you gonna do? What's the choice that you're going to make?